And so I went in, and there was all these surfers everywhere, and the tide kept taking me out further and further, and it just kept getting worse and worse, and I kept going under, and I tried to wave my mom to come out, but she doesn't know how to swim either.
I was never afraid of the water. It's just that in my mind, children learn how to swim. If you don't learn when you're 8, 9, or 10, then that's it. The boat is gone.
I went to summer camp one summer, and I was already afraid of the water, and there was some counselor who figured out that I was afraid, and he decided to pick me up and toss me in the deep end of the pool. And that was it. Like, after that, I wouldn't even go near water for a long time.
Okay? Scott's got a little bit of an advantage here. Okay, Scott.
Every Monday and Wednesday for 5 weeks, a group of men and women gather in the basement of Dodge Fitness Center at Columbia University to face one of their toughest personal challenges, learning to swim.
When I was a kid, from as young as I can remember, I was just terrified of the water. I would feel left out if they were playing games in the water or whatever, or going swimming deep into the ocean. I would never be able to go with them.
Okay. Guys. Go.
Growing up, he'd find ways to avoid swimming.
In high school, I had to take swimming, and I remember I got my parents to let me go to the doctor and get a note that I had some kind of medical condition or something, so I wouldn't have to swim. Yeah, I just remember summers, like with girlfriends or friends or whatever, where they would go out and play in the ocean for hours at a time, and I'd sort of stand in the shallow end watching, and eventually just walk back onto the beach because I couldn't be a part of it.
At 33, he was finally ready to put all fears aside.
Now, a good indication of what you want to do is watch your hands. Watch as they drive through the water.
On the first day, I remember one of the things I was thinking a lot about was I knew I could float and doggy paddle, so I wasn't absolutely sure that this was the right class for me to be taking. Like, I thought it might be for people who had never been in a pool before.
Okay. So, last time...
Once he started going around the class and asking what our experience was, and I said, well, I can doggy paddle and float. He said, this is the right class for you then. I thought, okay, I am pretty scared because I really don't have any idea what I'm doing.
Come on.
Their instructor, Eric Scheingolds, coaches Columbia's men's swim team. He trains some of the best college athletes to be even better. With this group, he says it's all about getting them to relax.
So, it's going to take a while. You might have good days and bad days, but we're going to try to have more good days than bad. All right? So let's try for 30 seconds. I want to see your best kick for 30 seconds. All right? So everybody...
With adults, you really have to kind of break it down to the most basic form because they're thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? I got to do it like this. I can't breathe. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's a lot of I can't.
Yeah, in my head I'm thinking, am I there? Am I there? I can't do it anymore.
Personal limitations are what kept Amanda Lesbrance from learning to swim.
So I would go to the beach, I would be in the water, I had a pool growing up, but the pool was only like 4 feet in diameter, so I couldn't actually swim. That it wasn't that important because I never really needed to get from A to B. But then once I almost drowned, that sort of took me into a different place where there was fear. And I don't even know what I was so afraid of. It wasn't the water. I think it was that I was embarrassed that I don't know how to swim.
It was a shortcoming she'd learned to hide well growing up.
I can doggy paddle, and I'm not gonna drown. I can raise myself up from the bottom to the top. So I think that's why I never learned, because I could get by, I could fake it because I wasn't afraid, and I could do enough to sort of be with everybody else. I mean, she's awesome.
Showing up for class would be her biggest challenge, and she realized there was no room for shyness.
I think you swam the English Channel last year, right? Okay.
There was no looking good in that class. That was out the window. They were there to learn how to swim, and they weren't going to look good doing it. They were going to look like a child or not do it right, but they were taking it
Very
on.
hard to get all the way down there with no breath. We're gonna stay 2 seconds. Right.
Yanet Baldares grew up in Costa Rica, where the ocean is a part of life. But it was a family tragedy that kept her from enjoying the water.
I'm 63, and so all of my life never learned how to swim. I was not allowed to as a child because 3 aunts of mine died in one single accident. So the whole family was adamant against getting anywhere near the water.
She felt her opportunity to learn to swim had passed her by, but a visit to her doctor quickly changed that mindset.
I've always wanted to learn how to swim, and then I got a back injury, and the doctor said it is surgery or you can try swimming. And I said anything before surgery.
Look at this.
I can do this one too. You can do it. You can flip the other way around too.
When she came into class, you could tell right away that she's comfortable in the water. She knew how to do a few things, but she didn't know the proper technique of swimming freestyle or using it as a fitness tool. But she definitely could get from point A to point B if it was close.
All right, let's just stand in flat spot. We're gonna go over the arm stroke again. Okay, I know this is our favorite thing to do. Okay, ready, and go.
I come down for class, I know in general where I want to go. I know I want to make sure I hit the same types of skills again and again and again, just so that they become more comfortable with it, and that they, not only do they retain the skills, but they master the skills.
Is it better?
How does it feel? Do you feel like you can swim now? There's just so much going on in my head. like breathe, side, head down. There's just so many things.
I think for me, it's putting it all together. Like the pieces separately, it's fine, you know, like I get what he's trying to tell me. I see how I'm supposed to kick, I know how I'm supposed to breathe. It's putting it all together and having to do all of those things at once and trying to rid myself of the fear that I'm going to sink.
In the end, each of the swimmers managed to achieve something they once felt was impossible.
Getting to the other side, I just wanted to scream. And after I left the class, I went and told all my friends, and I called my family, and I was just so excited.
Make it much easier.
I loved every minute of it. I absolutely loved it. And I think the most rewarding was to be able to get from one end of the pool to the other.
Leave it out front. Leave it up front. Leave it out. Leave it out. Keep going. Good. Come on, red cap, red cap, red cap, red cap.
That moment when I did the first lap, I thought I was like an Olympic champion. I felt so good.
Keep going.